You got me running, got me running. Shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. Raise your hands up. Raise them up.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey, hey, hey. It's your girly Bob Michelle here for another episode of After Dark. Yes, we are back. We had to take a break last week as I was unwell with gastroenteritis, but I am fully back to health and I am so happy to be here with you this evening. So this evening, I must apologise before I go any further. We've had some technical hitches this evening, which has made us start somewhat late this evening. We never normally start this late. Please do forgive me for that and forgive us. But we do have our panel here this evening. So without further ado, because I'm just going to crack on and get on with the show. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our panel members this evening. So who do we have in the green room right now? Let's pop everyone in. Let's see who we got. Oh, we've got the smiler himself. Hi, Kels. I will introduce you all. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. So good evening to everybody. It's really good to see you. Really good to be here. I feel like I've been away for ages, but it's only been a week, really. So, but I just wanted to thank you for being here this evening. And so let me just introduce everybody. We've got messages coming through left, right, and centre here. So tonight, let's say good evening to Kels. How are you, Kels?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing good. You know what I mean? I don't care what time you start. I'm here. Yeah, I am here. The smile is here. I'm here.
Like to hear that beautiful smile just brightens up the screen. So thank you. Hi, Faye. How are you? Hello, Faye. Can you?
Hi, I'm fine. Hi, everyone. I'm good.
Good. Yeah, I can hear
I'm
you.
all right.
I think
Can you hear me?
delay.
Can anyone hear me?
Bit of a delay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's welcome Karen. I haven't seen you for a while. How are you doing, Karen?
I'm fine, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Glad to be back.
Good. And Theo. Hi, Theo.
Good evening.
How are we? We good?
I'm well. Always
Brilliant.
well.
Fantastic. And let's welcome in Tony. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Alice. How you doing?
Hi, Tony. How you doing, brother?
We're good. Right, so there was a message, Tony, that last message. I just want to clear. Okay, all right. So tonight, guys, we've had a few technical hitches, and we really wanted to play a video. There's been a lot of talk around this particular video, and it's from I was going to say young man, but he's not young. He's 55, but a young man called Kevin Samuels from the US, who is a YouTube dating guru. There is a YouTube video going out which had this group going crazy. There's been lots and lots of talk on this group and other groups about this subject, and we wanted to be able to play the video, but we were having some technical hitches and issues. But I'm just wondering, we're going to try and do a ting to see if we can get this to play, because we want you to be able to understand what this is about. I don't even really want to go into it. Basically, this man has a relationship talk show where people ring in on YouTube, and a young lady in her 30s calls in and wants to ask him a question, and it goes into some kind of a debate where I want to leave it open. I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to give my opinion. I just want you to hear it and see, and then we're going to take this conversation and see where it goes tonight. We have an equal panel, even though I am the we should have had another female in, but you know, the females, we're here. We're here to say what we've got to say. So, without further ado, now Theo, sound guy Theo, have we managed to get that up and running, or are we going to go for Plan B? Oh, okay. We're going to a screen share. Fantastic. No, we're not getting the volume. We're not getting the volume from the screen share. Okay, let's go to Plan B. That's you, Tony.
Okay, so let's get this going.
I honestly want a six-figure guy.
Oh, there is.
And ma'am, and that's my point. You ladies all feel like, listen, you ladies all feel like you're the exception to the rule. And then when someone like myself comes along and gives you a dose of reality, instead of just accepting it, it's like, yeah, but I'm special. You don't know any men on this level that are not your father, that aren't related to you. That means you don't know these men. You don't know where to go get them. You don't know what they want. But you're still saying, pick me. They don't want mid-30-year-old baby mamas. I'm trying to be polite.
Oh, we lost you, Tony. Okay, guys, so we're having some real technical sound issues today. Let's see if we can pick that up. Can we pick it up?
Shall I go?
Yeah, go
So-
again.
So what is
Go ahead.
From my point of view, I feel like I get what you're saying. They do have better options, but also those better options are younger girls. Those younger girls don't necessarily 20-year-olds are not necessarily attracted to 45-year-olds.
Bullshit. I'm 51 and I can't beat them off with a stick. That's another one of you lies. No, younger women are attracted to older men. What are you talking about?
So can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So do you feel like a woman like me?
Uh-huh. What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7.
Would I rate myself?
Just your face.
My face when I wake up, 5, but when I put myself together, 6.
Okay. And how tall are you?
5'5".
Dress size.
I'm sorry?
Your dress size.
A 3.
Okay. So that makes you, if you give yourself a 5, that's average.
Yes.
So average looking women tend not to get high earning men. They tend to get average men.
So
Did you I mean, stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Breathe and digest. You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women off rip. If you do see them, they got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
I mean, my body is not average, so.
But ma'am, you please don't make me say it.
Say what? I really just wanted some advice. I love your.
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
I'm taking it in, but.
Okay, but you're not accepting the fact that, okay. Average looking women. Average looking woman who's older. Average looking older woman with a 13-year-old son. Average looking woman with a 13-year-old son with a sketchy baby daddy. This gets worse every time I say something. And now you're asking for a man who's in the top 10% of men. You don't qualify for one. And you're making, I mean, I don't want to have to go there, but when you put in all these other factors, why can't you just get a man that's an average guy?
Sometimes I feel like in order to fully submit, I have to feel like he's in.
Well, then you're gonna die alone. How about that? Let me just cut to the chase, ma'am. You can feel like what you want to, but women like you die alone, straight up, because you think you're better than the men that you qualify for. And the only reason, honestly, ma'am, that I can see a woman like yourself really thinking you deserve more is because you earn more, money than most people around you in North Carolina. But if your ass worked at the post office, you would not think so highly of your opportunities. And that's the reality. Men don't care about your money. Not the kind of men that you want. We don't care about your money. It ain't ours. We care about the fact that you are older and you got kids. And you're average.
Wow.
And your reality of your life has showed you that. You don't have the kind of men that you want knocking on your door trying to find you. See, what we've done in this country, this world, is we've told women like yourself that you can have it all, and you got a Prince Charming who's 6 foot, 6 feet tall, 6-figure income, jawline, all this other kind of stuff. And I'm sorry, man. No. Most people get average people, especially average people. You're an average person. I mean, let's be real. You're not running Microsoft. You got a pet grooming business. You've been making 6 figures for the last 3 years. Okay. But if I looked at you and I took all that off of you, all the eyelashes and all the hair, what do you look like under there?
I mean, I look the same.
No, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
I'm sorry?
No, you don't. You don't look the same because if you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
So, what is your advice for women that?
All right, I'll tell you my advice, man, because you're not listening to me. This is why I always recommend you ladies need therapy. Because you seem like a sweet woman, but you're not getting it.
You're being so mean.
I'm not being. Don't tell me I'm being mean. I'm about to be mean. I get tired of you broads telling me I'm being mean because you cannot handle the goddamn truth. You called my show on a day that you ain't even supposed to be here, and I honored the call and sat here and tried to help you. And I'm telling me I'm being mean. Get the fuck out of my phone. I'm tired of y'all doing this shit.
Wow. And well again. Okay, so we heard the video at length.
Oh,
Right,
well.
Where do we start to unpick this? I mean, guys, right, I've seen this out and I haven't really listened to it at its core. And I can say that my ears on fire, my foot twitching. But nevertheless, we're going to have a reasonable debate about this. So we're going to open up Facebook and YouTube. We want to hear your comments this evening. We want to know how you feel. Women, how did that make you feel inside? How did that make you feel? I'm just going to put that out there. Because this is our brother who has his opinion, and we are going to unpick that opinion this evening. There may be people who agree, there may be people who disagree, but what we are not going to do is we're not going to squabble. We're going to have a reasonable debate about it and come up with some kind of answers for ourselves and for those who are listening on the show tonight. So, you know, I want to just open it out to the. I know that we've got some comments on YouTube. I've got Mrs. Bibb saying this is not true. It's a joke. He's an arse. Okay, Corinne says it would be interesting to hear the men's point of view. Absolutely. Lolly Lorraine says if he takes off his garms, I think, what does he look like underneath? Well, I perished the tart. I don't want to think about that right now. No, saggy balls and all. But anyway, let me not go there this evening. So, as somebody has said, we've seen an angry face. We've seen lots of women with angry faces. Okay, so men. Oh God, Ali J says I feel traumatized. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for being honest. Right, so gentlemen, I'm going to open this up. As someone has rightly said, they want to hear what the guys have got to say about this. So we've got 3 great speakers on here tonight. So who wants? Should I just go for it and say right? Theo's looking very solemn, like, oh Jesus. Come, Theo. Come, let's have a chat.
Thanks for showing the full most of the video, Tony, because last time you only got a couple of minutes, I think it was. It got worse. It got worse. It's worse than it got worse. It got worse. I don't know this. I've never heard of this guy before until I saw the video, because I don't really watch many social media things. But he's a bit up himself to be nice. And obviously, I'm not in that bracket of money, so I don't live in that rare air. But how he treated a woman was disrespectful anyway. But I'm not going to talk. I'm trying to focus on him as a man, and how he can think that sitting there and just insulting somebody because he's got money is acceptable. Because just because you got money doesn't mean it's just money. It doesn't mean anything, you know. And watching that, and if I were a woman and I was watching that and I was in that bracket going with those kinds, that would put me off if I were a woman looking at him, just the way he was treating a woman, saying she's average and whatever else he was saying, and take off your clothes and whatever. I don't know. It was just like, come on.
He didn't say that. He didn't say she was average. She said she was average.
He said she was average more than once.
No, he asked her, "What are you?" And she said, "I'm a 5."
Yeah, she said it first, and then he later on.
So he didn't. If he had said, "I'm a 9," he would have got a different reaction, I'm sure.
He would have been worse. He would have been worse if she said a 9.
He would have been. He started saying about her face. He was just being insulting. He was insulting. And you don't need to be insulting you didn't need to insult her. You didn't need to insult her to justify. I don't think anybody needs to insult somebody just to make them feel superior. Okay, you're earning 6 figures. Great. But that gives you the right to insult somebody. It doesn't give you the right to insult somebody or put her down because you don't think she's in your caliber. Because she doesn't fit your particular mold. She's 30, she's got a child, and man of his level don't go at girls like that, or women like that. Fair enough, that's your opinion, that's fair enough. But you don't have to insult somebody to say that. So even she says, come on, you're being rude. There was no need for that. There was no need for it.
You have to also consider that it was meant to be a men's forum. She came on to a men's forum asking for advice, so she shouldn't have been there in the first place. Then she told him that she was average, so she gave him the ammunition.
Yeah, but he didn't have to. But that doesn't mean you have to be rude.
He didn't insult her. He
don't
didn't
think he insulted her?
other than she looks average.
He didn't think he insulted her later on. He didn't think what he said after that was insulting.
He just told her the truth. He didn't
Let me ask you a question.
Anything other than average, and she herself called herself average.
Let me ask you a question. If somebody spoke, do you have a sister, cousin, female cousin?
Yeah.
And the guy spoke to her like that, you'll just say it's cool.
if you put yourself as an average person, then I can only call you an average person.
Forget the average part, because that's not all he said. He didn't only say she was
that was
average.
rude. Other than that,
Okay, I think you need to.
what specific words
Okay,
did he say?
okay. If you didn't think he was rude, then fine. I'm not gonna say. To me, he was disrespectful, but to you, he's not
Because he said
disrespectful.
she was
Fair enough.
average.
So
Because he
I thought he
she
said a
was-
lot more than average. But if that's all you
He
heard,
said
then I
that
can't.
men. He said men of his caliber don't look for women who are average, earning what she earns. That was it.
And that's all. Okay,
that's
that's
the
as I said.
summary of what he said.
Okay, and that's, to me, he was disrespectful. To you, he's not. That's fine. I'm not going to tell you he wasn't disrespectful. If someone spoke to a family member of mine, my wife or somebody,
He got angry. He got angry at the end because she wasn't listening to what he was saying.
She
So
wasn't saying.
he did turn it
she
a
was
little bit.
sitting there, she wasn't saying anything.
He was chatting crap.
She wasn't saying anything.
She wasn't really saying anything.
How can you say he's chatting crap if you ain't him?
What do you
have to
mean,
be him
Tony?
to say he's
Tony,
talking
I don't
crap.
understand how in a month of Sundays you could even think that what he was saying was respectful. He was
What he's
rude.
saying
He's arrogant. What has he got about him but 6 figures?
Listen, you don't.
What?
You see, this is where you're going wrong. I see a lot of women.
We
all
are
of a sudden
speaking
are jumping
specifically
on,
about
"Oh,
whether
but
he was
he's
arrogant
not
and
this."
rude, and he was arrogant and rude. That's
Okay,
what we're
so
speaking
he's
about.
arrogant and rude.
He was
But what
arrogant. He is arrogant, and he was rude.
Okay,
And he
so
probably
he's
is rude.
arrogant and rude. But all
Yeah.
of a sudden, you want to attack him for his looks.
I am not. Who? I
You
said
just
I'm his
said it.
look.
You literally just said. You just literally a few words back said, "Oh, but what about his looks?"
Yeah, I'm not attacking him. I'm saying what about his looks? I'm just saying,
Yeah.
is he
So
average?
why?
Is he not average? What is he?
Why?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that his looks are bad or good. I said, what about his looks? If you want to go on her looks, let's go on his. That's all I'm saying.
That's not
Because to me,
necessary.
the whole
He's not
conversation
talking
is
about
he's
his
got
looks.
nothing much going for him but 6 figures.
Right.
So
that's
if he
all
didn't have
needs to
6 figures, then what?
That's all he needs to have.
For
Because
who?
let's
For what
be
kind of
honest,
woman?
There's a lot of.
But
there's a
hold
lot
on.
of
For who and for
ugly-
what kind of woman?
There's a lot of
Guys.
ugly men
Guys.
who earn millions a year
Tony.
who run
Yeah.
around with beautiful women.
Tony.
Yeah.
Time out.
Don't make it right. Don't make it not rude. Don't make it not arrogant. That's all we're saying.
Facts down.
That's all Theo's saying.
Let's put some facts down because actually, what he did highlight is the fact that she has a 6-figure business in dog grooming. He mentioned
And he said dog grooming. Like
And-
it's nothing.
dismissed her.
Yes.
It's all right for him to make money, but dismissed what she did. Right? He brought that up. She didn't. So he obviously had more information about her than what we saw in that recording. But he actually said about her having a 6-figure business for the last 3 years. And it doesn't make a difference because she's average.
He still dismissed that. He
He
still
dismissed-
dismissed the fact that she was earning 6 figures and might not even but she as a 30-year-old would probably not go for a 20-year-old man. Why would she go for a 20-year-old man? She would be looking for somebody who's more mature, I would imagine. That's why she's saying the things that she's saying, because she wouldn't necessarily go for a 20-year-old man. Why would she? She's a mature woman with a child. So why would she go for a man that's in his 20s? It just really wouldn't happen. So she's looking for a mature man, a man that's probably in his 40s, a man that's probably in his 50s even, with her 6-figure. So he totally dismissed the fact that she had 6 figures and probably would.
And what did he say about that? He said,
it's his
"Your
reaction to it.
6 figures don't mean nothing to my 10 figures." So men of his,
That's not what he said.
that's
not
exactly
what
what
he
he said. Listen again. You
He
see,
said it
you're not
doesn't make a
listening.
difference to men that have
Listen
got
to
that
what
kind
he
of
said.
money. He's
You're
saying that
not
men are not interested in the money.
He said that men that earn more than what she does
Earn that amount are not interested.
doesn't matter, are not interested in her with her 6 figures because they're earning probably more than what she's earning.
Exactly.
But that does not
That
take
doesn't
away
mean.
the fact that he dismissed the fact that she was earning 6 figures, and he dismissed the fact that it was a dog grooming business. It's almost like he said it with disgust, and you saw that.
But the point is he's making is his caliber of man.
No,
He's
he's
talking
not.
about
Caliber of
his
man, though, Tony. What's his
Shallow, shallow, rude,
People-
arrogant,
he can be
indifferent.
that.
caliber?
Let
He
me
can
just
be that.
come in and
How
say
many
this.
rich people do you know are
Because-
shallow and I like that?
Initially, when she started, she said at the beginning that she was looking for a man who earned 6 figures. She
Correct.
said that. He also said that she earned 6 figures in her dog grooming business, and she's an average person. So unless he's saying, unless he's saying that people who earn 6 figures are average, he doesn't have no chat, because she came to him saying she's looking for a man who earns 6 figures, exactly what she's earning. She wants something on par with her. She never asked him to put her where he is. She just said she wants a man who earns 6 figures. It later comes out that she earns 6 figures. So for me, I don't hear this argument. This man is arrogant. This man does not like women. He disrespects women. And when I say that he doesn't like women, I don't mean that he's gay or anything like that. He has an innate dislike for women.
No, he has an innate dislike for
his
average
ego
women.
is so big. His ego is so big, it's consuming him. In this clip, and I can only take it at this clip. I can't talk about anything else apart from this clip. But I tell you,
The problem that she did,
I know
the problem that she, the only thing that she did was put her, because remember, he set the standard for her. He set the standard.
Don't say 7.
He told her not to say 7. So he already set that standard. So if she thought she was a 7, she's now in her head already thinking, oh, bloody hell, am I less than a 7 now? So he's put
herself below
in her head that she's probably less than a 7. So her mistake was that she said she was a 5. I mean, come on now. If you're a 5 waking up, and you might well be a 5 when you wake up, before you put your hair and your wig on and your eyelashes and all of that. But after you've got yourself together, you're a 6.
Okay, guys, can we just speak on what Lakatan? Hold on.
What he should have done. Sorry, Kels. What I feel that he should have done was asked her a question at that point. Why do you think that you are a 6 after you've put yourself together? That would have been a better question, and she could have then answered that, and he could gauge where her mindset was. Because the fact is, if you're a 5 when you wake up and they're 6 when you put together, I would be questioning her as to why she thinks that.
But that's obvious, isn't it?
But he didn't do it. Obvious. He didn't do it.
Look, some women can go from a 2 to a 9 when they put the right makeup on, the eyelashes, the hair, the boobs, the butt, the calves. I've seen it
She's
all.
being modest. She was being modest.
Look, he had already said
most
don't
women
say
are going to go in
7.
and say they're 9s and 10s.
All right, guys.
Look,
And she couldn't say 7 because he said you
don't
can't say
say 7.
She was being,
If she had said more than 7, he would have gone for her throat straight away. She already knew that, right? She could not have said I'm an 8 or 9, because he would have been like, ugh. He said, don't let me have to say what I got to say about your face. That's what he said. He said, don't let me have to start on your face.
Who's calling?
Can we read what Lakatan said, please? Lakatan said something.
Okay, thank you. Can we get that up on screen, please? What I was going to say is, what we have to remember is this man is a coach. He does this for a living, and he knows how to play and how to make people think differently. And that pattern interrupt that he used by saying, don't choose 7, that was to interrupt her pattern. And he got the response that he wanted.
Yeah.
You have to know these things. This man is a manipulator. Sorry. Anyway, Lakatan says, sorry, whilst I feel the man was rude and condescending, I think it is a case of shoe on the other foot. It is not the case that some women do that to men for? Just saying.
Just saying hello.
Just saying hello.
Okay.
So what? And then they would be rude, and there's no clips for that, because they'll be rude and condescending the same way. It's apple or orange. It's not the same thing.
Wait, Karen.
It's
not the same thing. I let nothing go tonight, Kels. I'm sorry.
There is nothing new under the sun. Nothing. And we know that women have looked at men, successful men, powerful men, and are attracted to that. They're attracted to their money. But equally, it works the other way around as well. It's human nature. That's what we do. But this man has literally stripped this, and her self-esteem was not high anyway. Let's
No.
be with what Tony was saying. She did walk into that. She did. But he did manipulate her. I just have to say that. He did. From one coach to another. He used techniques in that conversation to make her look even worse than what she felt. And as a brother, I expect any man who has, I don't know if he's got a sister, well, he must have a mother, he come from somewhere. I would expect to have a little bit more respect. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it. He could have given her that message differently.
Karen, this is what I want to say.
Don't be stopping me, Kels. Sorry, don't be stopping me.
No, I haven't said anything. I've not spoken this yet.
You can speak, but don't be telling me to be quiet. Don't do it.
I didn't tell you to be quiet.
No, but you're saying you're stopping me from speaking. So I'm just saying, don't do it. Carry on now if you must.
Oh, so you're gonna tell me what to do now?
I'm not telling you to shut up. I'm saying you can express yourself. You were telling me to stop saying what I had to say. That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying, can I please just quickly say something here? What I want to say.
How much more time we have?
What I'd like to say first is only in America. Okay, it's the first thing I want to say. Only in America, all right? For a start, yeah. If you're gonna go on a show like that, because I have seen this man before, you're gonna have to expect what's going to come, right? For a start, right? And his show is about that. Although this particular one that he has, this program that he actually has put together, I didn't like what he presented here. It was awful. It was horrible. Like for me, it was the first time that he actually was very condescending. Before he would kind of give advice and kind of give information on, you know, how what men expect and what women should also be expecting. But this time it felt more of a personal attack. That's how I felt. Yeah, but once again, only in America. Yeah,
okay, let me put a bit of background in it for some of you who don't know this guy. Yeah, he had a guy come on his show, and the guy was asking advice about how to attract high value women. And he asked the guy, "Have you got a big dick?" After asking him how much you earn, how tall you were, you know, where you live, blah 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 blah. And the guy just generally didn't have a lot to offer. So he said, "Have you got a big dick?" And the guy said, it's more than average. And he said to him, "Have you got a big dick?" And the man said, "Well, it's not as big as Ron Jeremy." For those of you who know the porn industry, Ron Jeremy is a guy who had a very big dick. So he went to the guy, "Listen, all the things you told me, and you can't even offer a woman a big dick. You want to go flying, and he told him where to go. So if you think this guy is just rude to women and he doesn't like women, yeah, you need to listen to the guy's show and understand how he works. Yeah, it'd be the same as, you know, I don't understand people getting on top of this guy, and it's like you listen to Gordon Ramsay, F1 blind, and say your food is this and that, and you should be that and effing and effing and effing. But we call him a creative genius when it comes to culinary food. Yeah? You have to understand the audience he's dealing with and put yourself in that. If you can't put yourself in that, you're in no position to criticize.
Well, I would have to say that
it can be rude, it can be obnoxious.
As I said before, Tony, and I made it very clear that my judgment is based on this article alone. I don't know this person, but actually you are judged by what you do for whatever reason. So I don't know about this man. I'm judging it on this one episode, and I'm talking about this incident. I'm not talking about Hold on, I ain't finished. I'm not talking about anybody else, what he said about anyone else. What I'm doing is I'm looking at this incident and I'm picking out what he said. And he did not have to deliver that way. He didn't.
Okay.
And
hold
on.
Go.
In doing what he did is incited unnecessary pain and suffering to others, because people are looking at this and the woman, you can see, all I'm seeing is comments. He should be paying for her counselling. He needs to be paying. And I understand that she put herself there. I do understand that. But you can't diminish somebody just to get more likes.
People get diminished all the time in society, Yvonne. People get diminished all the
Does it
time
make it right,
on TV.
Does it
People
make
get
it right?
diminished all the
Does it
time
make
on radio.
Does
I
it
get comments.
make it
If you
right?
look in the feed over the 29, 30, 31, 32 weeks I've been here, I've been criticized so many times, had so many demeaning things said about me because I'm outspoken. I say this, I say that in the wrong way. Yeah. It just washes off my shoulder. I don't have problem with it. Yeah. So this whole fallacy about, oh, he demeaned a woman. The argument is not about the tactic or the way he demeaned a woman. The discussion is, do women go for high value men when they're average? Should they? And the other way around. Should men who are average be targeting high value women? That's what we should be talking about. Kevin Samuels is not an important man. He's one of a million men who are misogynistic and arrogant and so on and so on. This show is not about Kevin Samuels. This show is about attitudes to relationships. And we should be discussing, should an average woman be targeting a high value man? Not whether he criticized her.
It's all in all. It's all part of the conversation.
Stop criticizing Kevin Samuels. Let's move past that.
You can't.
Who gets to say what goes on in this show anyway?
We are talking about the whole thing, right? That's what we're doing. We're talking about the whole thing. We're unpicking it. That's what I said at the beginning. We're going to unpick this. That's what I said. So you need to listen to what I said and not try and run it the way that you want to run it.
I'm not.
But you need to go and get the Tony show.
I don't know the guy.
This is what we are doing, Tony. And yes, you're right. You do take it every week. You do. You come, you give it, you pay devil's advocate, you give it. And we love you same way. We love you same way. But what we don't do, Tony, is we don't diminish you down to nothing. None of us here diminish you down to nothing. None of us have ever done that. We may disagree, and when we leave in love. We don't leave and leave you bruised and battered. We don't do that. There is a difference. So I will not allow you to sit here and say that, oh, you take it, because we don't batter you, Tony. We don't. We love you, and you know
that's subjective. That's subjective.
So when we were having a discussion in the group this week, Tony did also mention the Gordon Ramsay situation about how he is really rude to people. But his whole show is about, unpicking people and building them up. He doesn't just leave people just there to run their business to the ground. The whole point is that he helps people. And I would like to know if this Kevin Samuels has actually helped that woman, because the fact that she was even on his show, and when he started throwing daggers at him, she still stayed on the show, just proves to me that even though she's got a 6-figure sum, her self-esteem is low. Because if that was me, I would have done turn off my Wi-Fi and gone and cook or something. She stood there and took it. So it's more also about her self-esteem. It's not just about she went into baying wolves and she should, therefore, if she gets torn apart, then that's it. If somebody steps out in front of my car, I don't just hit them because they're in the road. I try to think, right, how best do I deal with this situation, which is to care for somebody else. And principally, he didn't do that. And that's what we're talking about.
That was a perfect question, Karen. None of us has seen any more than the 7 minutes of the clip. Yet all of a sudden,
there you go. That's my question, Tony. I don't know about the man. Right. That's my question.
So
that's my question.
If you haven't seen any more than the 7 minutes of the clip, how are you going to criticize a man for 7 minutes? You didn't see what he did before. You didn't see what he did after.
I can say what I need to say about the 7 minutes. That's what the show is about tonight. The 7-minute clip, right? Which was worse than the 3 minutes we had in the group, right? And we can say that he demeaned her, but she had low self-esteem. Otherwise, she would have stepped off of it earlier. And that's it.
The question is
Tony,
the show about a man who's arrogant? Because if the show is about a man who's arrogant,
why don't we ask Yvonne what the show's about then?
Tell me, is it about a man's arrogance?
It's about the video.
It was about the video, discussing the video, how he spoke to her.
Everything, the average, about the woman. Everything.
So what is the video about?
It's about everything.
Can I just ask, Tony, have you seen the whole video? Have you seen the whole? I think it's 2 hours long or something, isn't it? So have you seen the whole?
It's 2 hours long, yes.
Yeah. So have you seen the whole
So-
video
so-
is my question. And the second question the first question is the second question that I've got is, what did he do during that 2 hours to rectify or to help that woman? Because if that's what you're saying that we didn't see the whole video, the 2 hour long. So did he, during that 2 hours, speak to that woman in a different way to what we saw in that 7 minutes? And did he try to help her, or did he continue along that same vein? Is what I would like to know, if you've seen it. I've not seen it.
Okay, so this is where this is how it breaks down. If we're gonna stay here and be arguing about whether a man was pleasant or not, I'm out of here, because that's not what I'm here for. I know the man's rude. I've seen his videos. I know what to expect. I've seen him criticize men. I've seen him criticize women. But he's a coach, and maybe you'll disagree with his technique. Yeah, I'm not saying he's not arrogant, because he's a big ass man, and he knows what he likes, and he comes across very condescending in the way he speaks. In the same way we look at Gordon Ramsay. But if we're gonna sit here and talk all night for the next 2 hours about a man and his arrogance, I'm not interested, because I don't know the man. But I'm interested in, is an average woman in a good position to be approaching a high value man, or is an average man in a good position to discuss a high value woman? If we ain't talking about that, I'm not interested in this conversation.
But one man's average is another man's top, and one man's top is another man's trash, innit?
What's average to one person is not going to be average to another person. Let's face it. You know,
That's
at the
the
end of the
talking
day,
point.
he might think that she's average. In fact, let's go back to the point that she thought she was average, because 5 is average. She thought she was average. So I want to know why she was average, first of all. But then I probably wouldn't have, because she said it, I probably wouldn't have gone in the vein of continue to tell her she's average, because she's already got that low self-esteem. So for me, I probably would have done things a little bit differently. Maybe I would have done things. That's just me. But you know, the
So you
question,
wanted him to lie to the woman and tell her you're
but he put in her head that she couldn't say 7. So then where was she supposed to go with that, Tony?
8,
Where was
9, 10. There's 3 other numbers above 7.
Well, I don't know, because I think he you know,
She was trying to save face.
Some people can recognize when somebody's got low self-esteem, because this is what a lot of these high earning men do. They recognize when people have got low self-esteem, and he's one of those people that can recognize already that somebody has got low self-esteem just by their demeanor, just by the way they're coming across. So there could have been a ploy in that as into why he said you cannot say 7, because he knew then she was going to go down, because and then he controlled the narrative.
Okay, so
and I'm sure he cut her off at the end.
Just to put some meat behind that bone, all of his shows prior to that show, when he asked people to judge themselves out of 10, he says you can't say 7. It's not the first time he's used that line.
But why is he saying that? Is that because he wants to control what he then says?
Yeah.
Because have you seen any videos where don't say 7 and the person says 8, 9, or 10?
Yes.
Have you seen any of that?
Yeah.
And what happens in those instances then?
Just goes with it.
Send that to me, please. I'd like to see that.
I've never seen anyone so
I'm just
pissed off.
saying, I'd
Actually,
like to see that.
I've never seen anyone so pissed off.
Okay, so all right, so
That on Tony, because I know.
okay, so what happened then at the end of that video? What happened? What happened after that 7 minutes? What happened to that conversation?
He cut her off at the end. He said these broads don't listen and cut her off.
Did he physically cut her off?
Oh, he swore at her. Hold the fuck off. Get off
I
the
think
phone.
he told her to tell her to F off.
Right.
It got better.
But you know, yeah, this is why I'm saying you can't just take people off the conversation. You have to take the whole thing, and that's what we're doing. So where you want to go with the conversation, Tony, we'll get there. But we have to start. We're starting at the beginning. All right. So this person. So to answer your question in terms of can a person who is earning go for somebody that's earning the same? The lady said she wants a six-figure man. That's what she said. It later came in the conversation that she earns six figures. So why shouldn't she look for somebody that's six figures? What came out subsequently after that is that he then confirmed what she called herself as being average. And then ran with that and used it against her. That's what happened. Used it to batter her down even more. So that's my thing. This is where I'm coming from. She said she wants six figures. She earns six figures. There's nothing wrong with that. That's where she should be putting her hat, where her hand can reach. That's what old time people say. You put your hat where your hand can reach, right? So that's what she's doing. So then why push the fact that she's earning, push the fact that she's average, and do that, and class her in his category? She didn't ask him to class her in his category. He might be a 10-figure earner. He could be. I don't know.
The man's worth $6 million or something like that.
Well, whatever. However much he's worth.
That's
She
7 though.
never said,
That ain't 10.
She never said she wanted him. She never said she wanted a man of his caliber. She said she wanted a man of six figures, and that's what she earns.
Six figures, anything from 100,000 to 999,000. So
he should be able to go for somebody that earns the same amount as her, because it seems like how we value people is by how much money they make.
they earn.
But is that what happened though? Because from what I got, he was asking her how she looks, her height. And from there, that's when it sounded like he was saying, in terms of how she presents herself, you're average, not solely on how much she earns. Just like, well, if you're not looking like you're a 9 or 10, then you're not going to be good for a man anyway. That's what I kind of got.
But isn't that perception? Because beauty's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? Really?
Absolutely. That's where we should be talking,
right?
Yeah.
It was basically.
I came on here to
You
talk
have to
about.
let people get there, Tony. You can't rush people. You don't run the show. I do. Right. So this is what I'm saying. You know, that's where Kelly on is saying what he had said, and we can elaborate from there. Stop trying to push your agenda.
But this is why I wanted you to read back what Black Atan said. And by the way, who is this Matt person? Because this
I
Matt,
don't know who Matt is.
It's like he's some Trojan horse or something. Go on, Trojan.
Just being very rude. I just responded back to him. He needs to mind his own business.
Matt, I'm not being funny, but could you just like step off, bruv? Because you're not helping.
Yeah, exactly.
This
is exactly what we're talking about. If you want to make a point, make the point, but don't be rude and disrespectful. You don't know anything about me. I'm sorry. And so you need to mind your own business. I'm not talking like a man. I'm talking like a female. Thank you very much for your information.
He's gunning.
Can you just block that user?
Yeah.
Whoever's on there, can you just block that user?
Yeah.
I actually had this on another feed last week on Sunday. Actually, people are now attacking streams like this with spam. So just block that user.
We've had it before.
Blocked. Thank you. Thank you
very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So what Black Atan said was that about the shoe being on the other foot. This Kelvin Samuels, whatever his name. Sorry, I forgot his name. I've watched a few of his shows. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. He is for a particular caliber. He's doing a show, and as I said, only in America. On this particular one, I'm a bit like it's a bit much, but that's how his show goes. Yeah. But this is something that us men do experience with women, though. That if we do, Tony knows where I'm going. Yeah, it does seem that way, or is that way with women that we post. If we're not coming with the fancy car, I've actually seen on YouTube where a man goes to speak to a lady. She's not bothered until his car turns up to buy valet, and all of a sudden she's now interested because of a nice car.
Yeah.
So these things do happen. So this is a discussion to have, and I do. It goes both ways, but that's what I'll say for now.
But equally, I wouldn't find a lot of value in that thought. It's not like I'm just saying that, you know, women are all innocent and, you know, we only do the right thing at all times, you know. But we were speaking about that video, and that's how I felt about it. If a woman, if it was a shoe in the other foot, I would also be saying I don't agree with it.
Okay.
But you know what? Different
the way
strokes, different folks.
I mean, the way I look at it is, I put myself in her shoes. I put myself in her shoes. If I'm an average-looking guy, average earnings, can I expect to bag myself a high-value woman?
But it happens all the time. I don't understand why.
Does it?
Yes, it does happen. It's not unheard of. But another thing is, there's lots of people that do it all the time. I don't understand why it's so hard to grasp.
In the correct circle. If you have the ability, Tony, to put yourself in those circles, then you can bag whoever you want to. But there are lots of women, and we talk about Liverpool being one of the places where this type of thing happens, where average-looking women or women who don't really have anything much going for them put themselves in footballer circles and and are able to put themselves in those type of circles and bag themselves a footballer.
Yeah,
and they have
guess what they've got going for them
to the table.
Guess what they've got going for them?
She's got lots of things to bring to the table. So if she puts herself in the correct circles, yeah.
Hey, the thing that you're missing is footballers go out with 9s and 10s. They ain't interested in your money. They want a trophy.
But anybody can make themselves look like that, Tony. Come on. Anybody can make themselves look like that. But that doesn't mean that
most of them ain't got the body they started with. It's plastic.
Are we just looking at aesthetics here? Are we looking at the deeper issue about personality?
Let me break something down to you. Let me break something down and be honest with you. If a woman looks completely different to the way she looked in the night, in the morning, without the makeup and having had a shower, you ain't getting another look. I've grown up with footballers. Yeah.
There we go.
I've grown up. I've been around that circle of footballers, and I'm telling you now, if you do yourself up and you look a 10 when you go out at night, but you wake up in the morning looking a 5, it's goodbye. You look nice when you wake. You do yourself up, but if you can't look at least a 9 or an 8 when it all comes off, then you can say goodbye.
So can I just ask, this Kevin Samuels, as I say, I don't know anything about it.
Forget Kevin Samuels.
Okay, but what's the most?
Tell her what to do.
What's the most successful relationship that he's had, and how long has that lasted?
That's not important. It's not important.
Is it not?
No. We're talking about in general. Do successful men want average women?
So he just wants to sleep about, but he can sleep about with anybody then. If he's not,
can you just write and read what Josh Debbie said just now? She said something like, "I'm not interested in a man not having. Yeah, I don't care if a man has money. It's all about his mind, his personality, his vibe, etc."
Thank you.
I don't know if that's even particular wholesome either, because I mean, he's got to take her out on a date, and if he doesn't, sorry, but I'm going to go there. But money is important. Because if he's not able to even, go on a few dates and pay for it, or show as though he's doing quite well, she ain't going to be interested. And that's a lot of women.
That's most people. That's most people.
And that's a valid point.
And it is very valid, because at the end of the day, if I'm not saying that I wouldn't or think that people should stay earning. You've got to get some kind of harmony in this relationship, or some kind of balance. And it just seems like everything is about, if you're earning X amount of money, then you've got to look. It doesn't necessarily, I mean, we've seen in history, say there's nothing new under the sun. History has shown us that there have been women who have been destitute and met millionaires and live happily ever after. Don't have 2 brass farthings to rub together, yet still, and don't look particularly great.
Exactly.
Give me an example.
It's in the eye of the beholder. So what one says is a 9, another might say is a 2. It's all subjective, right?
You're right there. You're right.
It's all subjective.
And another thing is, men don't like to earn less than. Well, I would say normally, men don't like to earn less than their woman. So if she's earning 6 figures and a man's earning, say, 25,000, he might not feel comfortable going with a woman that's earning 6 figures. So all she's saying is she's looking for someone who might not be intimidated by her wealth, and that's it. Why can't she get somebody that's earning 6 figures?
Well, I think if that's what she wants, then that's what she wants. I don't think it's a thing of now speaking on her behalf that somebody that's maybe earning less than her is going to be thinking a certain way. If she just wants to go for that, I have no issue with a woman earning more than me.
Well, you're one in a million. So maybe hopefully if anyone is out there earning 6 figures, Kels don't mind.
Okay, so you guys,
come baby, come.
So guys, you seem to have forgotten the other elements to the woman. She had a 13-year-old son and a speculative baby father.
So
men do not like that.
But did he? Because
men ain't got speculative baby mothers.
I didn't
hear. Tony.
How many children has he got?
I am naturalistic. Please read. I am naturalistic.
No, but you brought it up, Tony. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, but how many children has the man that she's trying to go for got? How many?
You need to read. I am naturalistic. Yeah.
It's like it's impossible for her to find somebody just because she's average. Really? Is that what you actually think?
And she's got a child.
And she's got a child, and she's over 40 as well. Don't forget that bit.
Yeah, over 40 with a child, no man. So
no man should want her, really. She can't say who she'd like.
To 50, all those women,
all those men, might as well just flush herself. Jump in the Thames.
So the type of man that he is, a high value man, does he really want all that?
High value how? Just in the bank, but the rest of him is rotten.
Would you throw yourself at a high value man?
I don't throw myself at no man, I'll have you know. And I could have done marry a good couple 7 figures already, right? But I don't like rotten man, whether if you have money or not. But what I do know is I earn well, and men are intimidated by that. So all I'm going to say is I'm looking for a man who could meet my standards. And if I get anyone coming telling me because I look average that I can't get a man that earns the same amount as me, you can kiss. In fact, you can't even kiss. That's what I'm going to say. You ain't even worthy. This is a nonsense conversation.
Can I say something? Can I say something? You know what's making me laugh listening to this? A lot of those, I'm just going from a lot of those men that are high earners, they're below average in terms of everything. They're short, some of them fat, they're small, they're a mess.
Small thing.
But they want these like, 9s and 10s. I don't even know what a 9 and a 10 is, because as they say, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So listening to that, this man's got 10 figures and stuff like that, I'm like, so what? You want the creme de la creme, but you're not creme de la creme.
That's
the way it goes. I understand this. That's what makes me laugh about this whole conversation. So this woman, just going back to the video, just because of this woman said she's now moved into a higher bracket of earning, so she wants to meet guys in that bracket. So she's gone to this man who's a relationship guy to say, how do I get man in my arena? Yeah, she's not looking for outside, because he said, why don't you settle in your own arena? And that's what she's trying to do. Because obviously she's come from a single mother, she's raked her way up, she's got her own business. So now she's looking for guys in a ballpark. But he didn't help her. He didn't even give her any, because that's what she said. She said it later on after he cursed her out. She said, I'll come on for help. And you're still dissing me, like you're being rude to me. And that's the bit I couldn't understand. Why are you being rude? She's not trying to say, she's not trying to go for him. She wasn't asking for him. I want guys in my ballpark. And that's what he said. You should settle for guys in your ballpark.
And he said it. But he said what he said, and he was not moving from his viewpoint.
Yeah, but she went on for advice. She went on for advice.
Talking? He wanted her to say, thank you for the advice. Goodbye.
But he didn't give her any advice.
Tony,
that's the thing. She didn't get any advice. I didn't hear any advice.
Advice was given about middle of the call, about 4 to 5 minutes in. He said, go for average men because you're average.
To him,
that's advice.
That's what he
You
said.
gave that constructive advice.
That's
Go
what
for
he
an
said.
average. What does an average man look like, though,
What's
Tony?
the average? I don't understand.
What's average?
That's the whole thing. So you said a comment, Tony. Should average people go for
average people? That's what he said.
But what's the average
Listen to
person
it
though?
again.
In your
Listen to it
eyes,
again.
in
This is
your
what he
eyes.
said.
No. Forget the video. I'm asking your opinion. In your eyes, what's average? What is an average person? Because I don't know what average is.
Listen. It's everything is subjective, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's people who have got millions in their bank account. There's people who have got hundreds of thousands in their bank account. There's people who have got tens of thousands. There are people who have got hundreds, and there are people who have got nothing. They're levels. Now, if I've got nothing in my bank account, should I be aiming at a person who's got millions in their bank account?
Why not?
People do that all the time.
Why not?
Really?
That's what the 20-year-olds are doing.
Really?
Apparently, yeah, the 20-year-olds ain't got millions. He ain't going up with her for millions.
Why not?
Well,
We
how
see
is that?
there's many cases of people like toy boys going out of rich women, the dolly girls going out of rich men. They've got nothing. They've come from some trailer park somewhere and ended up with some multi-billionaire.
I think Tony's talking about the general consensus.
But so I'm
General
asking,
where?
so somebody's value, how much they have in their bank account, makes them average or not average. So if I'm earning 5 million a year, that means I'm not average anymore.
Fear.
I'm just asking because I want to know what the level of average is. Is it on looks or is it on bank account?
No, it's made up of a number of. It's
One
made
at a
up of
time,
number
guys.
of
One at a
components.
time.
So it's made up of a number of components, yeah? So
Okay, that's what I want to hear.
So you can look at value, yeah? What do I bring to the table by way of financial value?
Okay.
Yeah? And then you can say, right, well, if I live in Chelsea, the average household has 100,000 in the bank. Yeah? But if I live in Peckham, the average household has £100 in the account. There's totally different averages. You see what I'm saying? Then you got to bring in the fact.
No.
Okay, am I bringing good looks to the table? Because the high class man wants a beautiful woman. So typical example is Donald Trump. Donald Trump only goes for Russian brides. Those high class
Desperate women.
he gets, those high class hoes that he gets
Exactly.
for wives. Yeah, for him are a 10, and he can afford that shit. Yeah, he's delusional as fuck. He's an ugly motherfucker. Sorry to use the language, but at the end of the day, that's what he does. That's how he targets himself. If you look at Epstein, right, the Epstein case, all them rich mother whatevers were going to his island, getting rich, pretty young girls at 16. Rich men going for little young girls who are pretty. Yeah.
But that's not. But can I say something? But that wasn't a relationship. They were just sleeping with them, isn't it? That's not. We're talking about relationships here.
You see what I'm saying about?
You got to
If
remember.
We're talking about abuse, yeah.
Abuse. Let's not.
That's abuse. Let's not go there.
Okay, but if I'm not bringing the money to the table, then I need to be pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to. In the same way, if you're a rich woman and a guy steps to you and he's got nothing in his pocket, most of the time you're not interested unless he looks decent. So unless he brushes up well, you ain't giving him a time of day.
Yeah.
Because you can't step to a woman of Karen's caliber and be carrying nothing in your pocket. Karen, am I wrong?
All right. Can I just...
I'm asking Karen directly. Can I step to you, a beautiful black queen, with £0 in my pocket?
You can't, because your mouth will kill anything before I even find out if you got money or not.
All right, can I just say this quickly? I had it where I was talking to one young lady and we were talking about accommodation, and I said, yes, I'm renting, and she said that she is a homeowner, and from that it's like she was just put off the fact that I'm not a homeowner, because she's now expecting somebody to be of her caliber that's actually, you know, is a homeowner. Okay.
But which average or not? Because apparently that's important.
Right. See, that's just the point I'm making here. You know what I'm saying is that, as what Tony was saying, there are levels. Okay. even in the African Caribbean community, there are levels. Okay, especially if we're even talking about. Okay.
Sheena, you're in. Turn off your second thing.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you need to maybe turn something.
Because we can hear it.
Sheena, I'll turn down your.
Yeah, if you're talking about economic structure, money circulates in the Asian community 28 times. In the Jewish community is 20 times. In the white community is approximately 17. In the Latino is 11 times. In our community, believe it or not, it's 6 hours, and it's out of our community. So with us, we are having to think about how we're going to not just be earning or doing our businesses, but also networking, you know what I mean, amongst our community. And it's unfortunately, you're finding some people coming out of our community and going into the white man's community because they just don't feel that in our community great things are happening. These things happen, even on a social basis. Nonetheless, in relationships, what Tony's saying is not wrong. He's actually right. And some of you guys are talking on exceptions. In the general consensus, if I'm Brock, I cannot go with a high-valued woman that is
Kels. That happens all the time. There's a 1,000,001 toy boys who are Brock, but as Tony says, they're good looking, they're good in bed, and those rich women don't want nothing. Because if I'm a multimillionaire, I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how much money you got. I really don't care how much money you got. You could be Brock, you could be this. I'm gonna go for you for what I want from you, looks, body, whatever. That's what I'm going for you, because everything else I can manage. So him saying you can't go for average or whatever, that doesn't make any sense. Because if I want something, I'm gonna go for it because I'm a multimillionaire, and that's what they do. Donald Trump's a prime example. They go for what they want. His wife, for most people, was a Brock pocket. Yeah, he goes for anything he wants because he's gonna throw money in it, and if they want the money, they go. Yeah, but I'm not talking about where he got his money from. We're talking about average women going for rich men and average men going for rich women. It doesn't matter. I don't know what average is. If it's only on if average is because of your bank account, that doesn't make someone average. That just makes you poor. It doesn't make you average. Or it just means you're a low income earner. But because a rich man isn't going to go for a rich woman, he's just going to go for a woman. You don't care if she's got money, and vice versa.
Perry says here, an average is basically someone who does not get a lot of attention and is not really considered great looking, but is ugly.
That's based on looks though. So average when it comes to finances is a different matter.
Yeah, but that's what I'm asking.
A rich sugar daddy. Listen, for those of you who are of Jamaican background, you will know some women in Jamaica will go with a rich sugar daddy, because they know that he's going to be throwing off the dollar then. Yeah.
Why Jamaican? That's just anywhere.
Anywhere.
It's about how much he's got
anywhere.
in his bank account that he can dash out and give you to get your latest heels and your latest.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. So this average thing on bank account is doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Because as a multi-billionaire, your finances means nothing to me. Okay. So how much you have in your bank account means nothing to me.
Yeah. Karen just admitted just now that me being a person that pays rent and maybe her being a person that owns a home is going to be a problem. She just
me.
I'm sure you did.
I didn't. I did not because renting and owning a home, it's a big subject. Some people just don't like to do it. Some people do it. I wouldn't. What I said is that I would look for someone of my caliber because in my experience, men can't really handle it. But if it's a man that's renting and he can handle it, then that's fine. I'm talking my experience, Kels.
Oh, okay, fine. I thought you were actually.
No, I got nothing against men who rent.
I just gave an example that I spoke to a young lady. Yeah. We were talking about accommodation. I said, "Oh, I'm renting at the moment." She goes, "Oh, I'm a homeowner," and that pretty much was like the deal breaker.
And I'm sorry, that's my experience, but it wasn't me. People,
I'm not sorry at all.
Okay,
I'm sharing with you experience to make a point. And it sounds as though you actually agreed, saying basically, yeah, if I'm a homeowner and you're a person that rents, that's a problem. That's what it
No,
sounds.
you need to watch it back, Kels. I'm not superficial like that. You need to watch it back.
You need to say, no, Kellyanne, that's not what I said. Okay, cool, leave it as that. You don't need to go there. I take on what you said. Yes, Karen.
What you were saying.
You having a good night? You had your
No,
talk.
you're having a very
You had your
tricky one.
Harley.
You're having a very tricky one.
Just to pick up on what you were saying, Kels, about this house owning thing. I've never come across that, to be fair. In all the people that I might do financial stuff with, and I've never heard a woman say they wouldn't consider a man if he was renting. I've never heard that. So I don't know why that would be a thing. I don't know how old this person is. But renting, like Karen said, renting and owning is subjective. When you rent, you probably pay more than mortgage anyway.
Exactly.
So it shows that.
No, I'm just giving an experience. I don't give a toss. Actually, I don't give a shit. I'm just saying in terms of what we're saying here, of what people may want, what they expect. I'm giving an example of someone that I had a conversation with. That's what she went with. And that was her opinion. I don't care how old she is. That's what she was on.
That's what her thing.
I don't care.
JM is saying, so if we can go back to JM's comment, she's saying the person JM is saying the same thing. Homeowner women don't marry renters. That's not true.
That's not true. That's not true. That's absolutely not true.
Well, quite clearly for some people it is true.
That would be tarring everybody with the same brush. I think we have to say that there are some who that would be red flag, right?
Thank you.
There are some.
And that's Kevin Samuels. He's some.
Yeah, there would be some. But because right.
So I think
the message. I was going to read a message, but it's gone too quick, and I couldn't catch what it said in the first place.
We see. I think we got a marriage in the making because Carl and Michelle have started a conversation.
I see it. You see it.
They're looking for one another, I think.
Okay.
So keep us informed, guys.
Good. It's the shoes.
Sheena, what's Sheena saying?
It's the shoes.
Sheena, you're with us.
Come in, my girl.
Hi, I'm with you. Yes, I'm with you. Hi. Oh my God, this guy, Kevin Samuels. I don't know if you guys are aware. He's a fraud. He just got outed recently for being a fraud. He's actually he's like a fashion guru, whatever he does. And he's not actually a relationship or any kind of expert to be giving advice with regards to who's an average and all that jazz. Yeah. So it's a really interesting debate. But he's just an arsehole through and through, as we know. So my thing is this: what is average for a woman? Would you consider me average, Tony?
You're a 10, baby girl.
Hell. God bless you. Yeah, but so are all us women, as far as I'm concerned. There's no average here, right? So yeah, I just think he's gonna start the pan boiling. He's already started the pan boiling because I'm just listening to how everyone's talking. That's why I had to come in. I had to come in and just say hi. Cause it's a really good debate. But yeah, it is. I'm enjoying it. So but yeah, don't let Kevin get under your skin, man.
Exactly.
Trust me, the man just got outed as a through and through fraud.
That's what there's people out there, like we were talking about the JaVale and his wife the other day. These people, they make a living off their YouTube. Their whole thing is about courting controversy. So if they can court controversy and everybody's talking about it, they're making dollars.
That's right.
But it's okay for people to make dollars and trample on other people. It's just like I would never go for that. I'm sorry.
To make money, that's what you do.
Doesn't make it right.
It's hit the nail on the head. It doesn't make it right, but Tony has actually hit the nail on the head. That this guy, because whether he's been outed or not is irrelevant, because he's out there, and this is him.
And he's made his money. Let's face it.
How he's making his money.
Yeah.
I want to know, would this kind of thing, would this happen in the UK? Would this in terms of how this has been projected? Because as Kellyanne said, only in America, and it is in America. The other thing, the deval, is it they're called again America. So would this happen in the UK?
I believe it would, and I've seen it. because as I mentioned to you, the high value footballers, they all want a 9 and a 10. They're not interested in a 5 and a 6. I'll give you the classic example of someone who went out with a 5 or a 6. Yeah, Ian Wright went out with a 5. He married a 5 or a 6. Some would say she was as much as a 7 or an 8, but she was not a 9 or a 10. She was a big girl.
Tony.
What?
Why are you giving? Who cares about numbers and who was a 5 and a 6 or
Because
a 9 and a 10? And
that is what we're talking
yeah, but
about.
Tony, as a man, is that how you judge and sort of like measure up a woman?
That's exactly
when you're going to meet a woman. So no, I'm asking you as an individual. I'm asking you. I'm not interested in what Kel or Theo has to say now. I'm asking you the question directly. Do you sort of like put a woman as a 9 or a 10 when you meet them? Be real now.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you like this, Sheena. I've been out with women who are size 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20.
Excellent.
I'm not shapist.
Okay.
With big women.
So if you're not shapist, why are you even indulging? Why are you even bothering to mention the fact about which man said 9 and a 10 or which man said 5 and a 6? At the end of the day,
because I've been in those circles with footballers. We're talking specifically high-value footballers who earn lots of money, who when they go to a nightclub, they're not interested in the big girl in the corner.
You know, it'd be really nice.
That's just a shallow man.
You know, it'd be really nice. It's
shallow man with a
week.
small dick and maybe a lot of money in the bank, as far as I'm concerned.
It'd be really nice if 1 week Tony could just come on here after 102 weeks even and just represent himself. Because everybody on here says what they have to say about their own experience. But Tony always talking about footballers and this other person and what you hear around the corner. We want to know. Sheena's asking you directly, you. And this is what we want now.
What did she ask me? What did she ask me?
I'm asking, when you're sort of like looking at a woman, do you, you know, you're saying average, do you sort of like give numbers for them? Do you mark them down as like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Because if I see a man, right, I'm not going to stand there and say, oh, he's a 5 out of 10, or I think he's an 8 out of 10. To me, it's either I like the man or I don't like the man.
Yeah.
And then we build a conversation. So I just want to know, because obviously I keep hearing this in so many different ways in what you say. I just want to know if that's the kind of thing you do, then that's just going to show me the kind of man I hope you really ain't about.
Okay, so I've answered the question. I'm not about the body.
Excellent.
The face has got to look nice for me. I wouldn't go out with somebody who I didn't find facially attractive. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I don't feel that your face is attractive to me, I'm not interested most of the time.
So then you're still going for outer appearance then. What if that person's got a heart of gold? What if that person she's going to be the most loving person to you, she's going to treat you like a king, and she looks butted out? Are you going to then pass the buck on her because to you she don't look good? I'm going to argue that with you.
Let me address that point. We as human beings, we as men, and any of the, I would ask the same question to Kellyanne and Theo. We are physical beings. We look and we see what we like. Yeah? We're not interested in talking about a conversation if we don't have that first initial visual stimulus. You see the men nodding? That tells you. I'm not talking
hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
Go ahead.
If you met somebody, right, and like I said, she didn't maybe say meet your 9 out of 10 quota, right? But you developed and you was there talking and you get to realize the woman make you laugh. Are you then still telling me that that the outer quota would be of importance first?
No.
Listen, I know some women, you know, that to them.
Can I answer that, Tony? Tony, can I answer that, Tony? So first and foremost, I'm going to give you a scenario. We're going to a club. I don't know you, but I have to be, as soon as I see you, if I like you, then I'm going to approach you. If I don't like you, I'm not going to approach you. So I don't know if you're great, got how much money in the bank. I'm not attracted to you straight away. So I'm going to move on. But if I get to know you, supposing we meet up and we work in the same place or whatever, and we get to know each other, then obviously I've gone past the visuals. now I'm getting to know you
Right.
as
So
a
those
person.
two, I get those 2 pointers. I get those 2
And that's
pointers.
how, that's how men
individual.
work. That's how men work.
Okay.
So first
Can I
and
also
foremost, it's a visual thing.
can I also say that we've got men that we go for because they look a certain way, right? But it's just who would not make your eye water. That's what it comes down to the end of the day. Because who I find attractive visually, Sheena might not find attractive visually.
And that's for everybody.
Right?
That's for everybody.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. There's no way of going out and sticking out and saying somebody's average or somebody's a 10. Because a lot of the time, a lot of these people who they say are 10, they're quite fake. I mean, there's a quite well-known woman in this world who is well known for her body, and everything on the body is fake. So, it depends on what you go for. A lot of men like that fake rubber doll thing. But then there's a whole lot of men that don't and wouldn't find her attractive because she's so fake. So I don't really get it. So this whole
That's why I was asking
about
That's why I
average,
was asking what's average, because I
it's
don't know what average
subjective.
is.
It's subjective.
Depends on everybody. Some guys like breasts, some guys like bum, some guys like pretty face, some guys like whatever.
Yeah.
So the average, that's why I was asking you, Tony, what's average, because I don't know what the average is, because every woman's different.
So yeah, you're absolutely right, Theo. Look, average. What's the average cup of a woman? What's it, about a C cup?
I ain't got a clue, brother.
Exactly.
You're treading on some serious waters there, Tony. Brother
I'm
Tony.
just asking honestly. I think the average is a C cup. So if a woman's got an A cup, she's under average.
Well, I wouldn't know about a C cup because I surpassed that. I surpassed
if
that.
the man is attractive. If the man is attractive to an A, he's gonna think that that's brilliant, right?
Yeah, that's a bird
if he's
test to
not
us, but hey
attractive
ho.
to E, he's gonna think, oh my God, that's way too much. I don't like it, right? So you can't say average according to what you think is average isn't universal. It isn't universal. And you're talking about footballers. I mean, like, how many footballers are there in the world when you think about men, right? So I would hope that just because they're that way, that the majority of men want more than just this look that you're talking about.
So this is what we're talking about, though. We're talking about a very small percentage of men, who earn serious money. Would they be attracted to an average woman? And vice versa, the very high earning women who are again.
But Tony, I've seen them.
Don't cut me, Karen.
Okay, I won't cut you.
Don't cut me. Yeah. So once again, there are a small percentage of women who earn very high amount of money. Yeah. And would they be attracted to an average man? So we're not talking about generalistic. Yeah. We're talking about high end earners in the field of women and men. Men who run, huge corporations. Women who run huge corporations. We're not talking about a dog walker. We're talking about corporation. Oprah Winfrey, Wendy Williams, all them kind of names. Beyonce Knowles and all them kind of things.
Well, so you're literally going for the 1% in the world. You're talking about the 1% of the world going up with the other 99.
It's a small percentage, yes.
And we're not.
So
not talking about.
We're talking about them. I don't.
We're not. We're not talking about.
They don't need to be in this conversation.
They do, because you know why? Because that's where the conversation started. Kevin Samuels.
Beyonce isn't a six-figure earner.
She's not a six-figure earner. Neither is Oprah.
And most of the footballers, they're not six-figure earners.
Above that.
Really?
Yeah, it'd be like 7. Yeah, 6 figures is 100,000. All you got to earn is 100,000. That's 6 figures.
Yeah, you're right.
So this is the whole thing. So we're not talking about Oprah and all of those. We're talking about this girl is a normal person. There are loads of people, coaches, small business owners pulling in.
Especially in America, earning 100 grand in America is really not that hard. She wash 10 dogs and earn 100,000.
Yeah,
it's not that difficult. It's harder in this country, I would say, but it's not that difficult in America.
Right.
That is so true.
Yeah. And it depends on where your investments are. If you've got investments here, there, and everywhere, the money's. People don't need to know if you're earning 6 figures or not. Really, now in this country, and it's
Judy Love is lovely. I love Judy Love. She's beautiful. big woman, wonderful character, love her.
Can I answer Pierre's? I can't find this comment on here. Pierre, because you keep saying the averages on this woman.
Perry.
Perry, sorry, Perry.
Say, man.
To be honest, what woman do you consider to be very beautiful? I consider all women to be beautiful. Every woman has their own beauty in their own right. I like what I like. So I like women with hips. I like shapely women. I don't care the size. I like shapely women. Well, my wife's very curvy, so that's what I like. Does that answer your question? I like a good shape. Sometimes it might be a good smile. It might be the way she talks. It might be the way she laughs. It could be anything, Perry. I don't really have a particular thing that, if they don't have that, then my ex, she was very slim. Doesn't matter. She's a woman. I just love women. So does that answer your question? I love women, Perry.
Perry says we're talking about facial.
Love woman. Me love woman.
So I'm not gonna say, I like this. I've got a perfect woman in my head. No, because every woman brings something different. Sometimes I've been at women with big breasts and some with no breasts. I mean the difference. Big bums, small bums. I don't really.
Yeah, and in answering Lolly's question, the breast size doesn't make a difference for me. The way she carries herself is ultra important for me.
I like confidence. I love confident women. Strong, confident women. If they're not strong and confident, I don't find them sexy. I don't like doormats. Or was it mats? Doormats or whatever they call them.
Doormat, ironing boards.
Doormat,
ironing boards. I like a strong, confident woman.
Somebody told me the other day a dead frog.
That's got a bit of a bite. I like a woman with a bit of a bite. She can't open her mouth.
So therein lies the point. Yeah, therein lies the point, Theo, because that particular woman on that video, she rated herself a 5. So she's already displaying that low self-esteem. Do you know what I mean? So even though she's earning 6 figures, you're definitely not going to be attracted to her regardless of her 6 figures because.
That's on that video. To me, she was confident enough to phone the video, so I'm not going to dismiss her for that because she phoned up.
Yeah,
but
she phoned up.
And she did say that her body was higher.
Exactly, I heard that too.
Yeah,
I heard that. She said her body is good.
If you see me, and he said a comment, and he was like, "Oh," and
he said, like, let's talk about your face.
Yeah,
don't have to go there.
Automatically, she knew that he wasn't.
I'm have to go your face.
She said her body, so if she got a good body, yeah.
Why? You know how many? Listen, you know what? The body thing is really funny because you know how many times you see that woman across the road, yeah, and the body look Chris, and then when she turned around, the face look mash up, and you go, oh Lord. How many men have gone through that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, plenty.
Look at Kel.
Call them strobe light honeys, man. Strobe light honeys.
Tony, I've had that experience myself. I've had that experience myself as a man.
Yeah.
I've had that experience, and it was a shock. It was a shock of an experience. So yeah.
Worse yet, if they got a nice body, a nice face, and a stinking personality. That's the biggest shocker.
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
but you know what? He had a nice personality as well, but it was just Lord.
It's all right.
The big mole on the face. Yeah.
I've had a few strobe light honeys, man. It's all right.
But you see how this thing is subjective, right? Because some people like the mole, and some people don't like the mole.
The mole frightened me.
You know,
JM, I've got 6 children.
Somebody, I look you.
I'm married. Been married for a long time, man. I've hanged up those player days. I've had enough.
Sweet milk Theo.
There's too many women in the world, man. I realized. I can't get them all.
Language says, Yvonne, you've spoken about love language, which explains what you like or do not like in the opposite sex, which is true. That is very, very true. We don't use the love languages we don't use the knowledge that we have. I just think that in terms of how this has presented itself to us, that we recognize that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and nobody should be really calling anybody average, really. And I think that that's what's incensed most of us here on the panel, especially the females, is that, you know, you're just average, it's like you're nothing. And I think that we as women, I think, talking from my own perspective, I'm tired of hearing men talk about us like that. I'm tired of it, because we are.
He's only a small percentage, Yvonne.
Let me finish what I'm saying. That I hear that often. We spoke about something else. It was DJ Super Me saying, you know, kind of stuff. We have these throwaway statements. Women do it and men do it. But at this age now, where we are, because we're not children. We're not in our 30s. We are. Oh look, DJ. I called your name and you just appeared. DJ Super Me, the DJ. Let me not get your name wrong, the DJ. So yeah, so I think that where we are today as older people, as more mature, if we're still going through this, and the fact that this man is 55 years old and talking like this to somebody that is that much younger than him as well, I just find it really distasteful. That's all I'm saying. He's probably, I don't know him, he could be a great guy for all I know, doubt it, but he could be a great guy. But I just think that I'm tired of it. We need to be building each other up. We need to be really building each other and not just talking the talk. And I think that this is where we lack and we slack in relationships. This is why relationships are becoming so difficult to even get into.
Yeah.
You know, if you know, you're looking at somebody, if you like that person, then it's like, well, how much money have they got? Then it's like all these other questions that go with it. And should it be that? Should it be that? Should we be looking for, you know, should I be looking for a 6-figure person, 7-figure person because of all the things that I do? Should I? You know, I'm putting it out there. What, you know, if we're to go by this, we're in a sorry state of affairs. That's all I'm saying. I think we have to look far deeper than what we are.
And then on top of that, he actually said to her that she will die alone.
Oh yeah, that was.
And I was like, but hold on a minute. Who said you won't die alone? Suppose your money ran out. Then how are you going to pay for the 20-year-old that you could die with somebody? You know, it's just a ridiculous notion, really. It's just full of nonsense.
Yeah. She's, you know,
That's an absolute horrible thing to say.
And do you think the younger person don't just want him for his money?
That's all they want him for, the money and the clout, and if he could cook for nice dinners, and if he's going to buy the Louis Vuitton. But, you know, if he lost that money tomorrow, nothing's going to save him. The 20-year-old's just going to left him same way.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the world we live in.
Can I ask a question?
Not the world I live in, that's okay. Cool.
Yes, it is. Can I
not my world, not my world. I'm in business for them people.
Cool. It's great that you have your own world, Karen, but unfortunately, I, in my school, have children, girls, who honestly break up, will come and say to their teacher and say, I'm not interested in education because as soon as I get the chance, I'm finding a man, having a baby and getting my council flat and living my life off the system.
Please tell them they can't get council flat the same way like before.
Please
let them know that.
But they can play the system.
They can't.
That's a certain mentality. I hope it's not many people. If my daughter was to say that, and if my daughter ever said it to you, Tony, please let me know. Let me just slap. Oh, social services.
I work in a school with girls, and that's what I hear coming out of their mouth. They're 13,
that is very
14,
sad.
And
very sad.
It's extremely sad. But I'm just saying that's a reality. That's where we're at in this world.
That's gone for years.
That's not, it's not new. I don't understand. It's like as old as time. I mean, that's what this country's been built on. Women being at home and marrying up. But you know what's also interesting? It's like black women can't marry up, but white women marry up all the time. You know, it's also a bit of that in it as far as I'm concerned. Like, look at yourself. You got to be above average to get a man like me.
That's right.
With your average self.
Question I wanted to ask. That's exactly the question I wanted to ask. because it just appears
You know?
that it's only we can't.
We can't. We can't get above our station.
Yeah.
DJ Super Me just asked about whether it was a good school or a bad school. I work with kids who are having issues at home. Most of them
There
are
you
coming
go.
from deprived areas.
There you go, Tony. So it's not my world. It's not my world.
Yeah.
Nothing
But,
new.
you know,
It's not my sphere.
Those children come from everywhere, and they, you know, there's an estate round the corner from you somewhere where children have that mentality.
Yeah,
but it's round the corner.
The thing is, they will have that mentality, but it's something that's happened. It's not new. It's been going on for years, 20 years, 30 years. It's nothing new under the sun. You know, we've heard that. Girls my age used to say, oh, we're going to get pregnant and get cancer for that. And, you know, I'm 50. Hello. So, you know, that it's, and so if I go back all those years, that's 30 years ago. That's what was going on. There's nothing new under the sun.
That's why they're not council flats now.
Exactly, and that's why they're delusional. They're not going to get council place. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. I think someone else needs to come in. No one wants to say nothing. Someone else.
Questions. Where's the questions in the group? Fire up a question.
In terms of.
So Veronica said, "Can I change the narrative of the girls?" That's why I work with the 100 Black Men of London, because that's what we do. We try to change the narrative for our young black children. So I'm actively working as a mentor to change their mentality.
Yeah, because they have. But
DJ Super Me said he's a.
For you, Tony, where you are, but where I am, the children across are not all automatically our children. They are from the white areas. They are not necessarily from the estates either that are saying this as well. I don't know, because you're London and I'm not, so I don't know.
I'm actually in Surrey, but the children that come to my school come from all over South London. So some of them come from you know, Surrey suburbs, and some of them come from Peckham, Mitcham, etc.
Right.
So I have a good wide mix. I've got a girl in my class. Yeah, her parents won 5 million on the lottery. She's rich, but she's an absolute tearaway.
Yeah, because winning 5 million on a lottery doesn't mean anything. Their culture is still going to be the same.
There you go.
Probably
So
piss the money up the wall anyway.
It's what society is shaping these children into. There's too, you know, it's all about capitalism. At the end of the day, we live in capitalist society. Yeah, survival of the fittest.
Yeah, okay.
So all of our children want to be
again,
the fittest.
it's nothing new.
Gratification. Yeah, how can I get rich quick? Stick my bum out, push my lips up. Yeah.
And that's who they see going up with the footballers. Yeah, that's who they see going up with the footballers. That's what some of them aspire to, but
exactly.
Not any young girls on my watch.
Is there just as many women? Is there just as many girls aspiring to be on a reality TV show and get the fame from, you know, Instagram and TikTok and all of those things that are out there now? So are there just as many girls doing that as the ones that you're talking about that aspire to have a baby and get a council property?
So the figures of is going to be more children are going to be good than bad, but we still have to address the bad children.
Absolutely. Well, not so much bad, the challenging children. Let's not label them.
Yeah.
Me call them bad, because some of them butter. You see?
Can I bring it back? We're talking about the rich men and the rich women. A lot of these rich guys, especially footballers, I know loads of footballers. They're not the sharpest tool in the box. They're not the sharpest tool in the box. They most of them are very, I would say, educationally challenged.
Yeah.
So they only go for shallow women. Same as a lot of these rich guys, they only go for shallow women. So they're superficial. They want to go for the looks. So the woman would put the Botox lips and the Botox bums and stuff like that, and they would go for that. But there's no actual substance. So when you hang around with the footballers' wives, all they're talking about is the latest bag,
handbags and shoes and holiday
and holiday and hairstyle.
and that's what they're controlled by, because the threat of that being taken away.
If I'm going for a woman, that's what I was trying to say about the average. Most of those girls are to me, they're those girls you're talking about, Tony. They've come from nothing, put on all this glad-rad stuff, and found a footballer in a nightclub, and he's married her and stuff like that. And but we're talking about a relationship for the majority of people. We're not going to go for that. So when we keep talking about average, and my guy Piers asked me about average, and we're looking at bank balance, is that going to make the relationship the bank balance, or is it going to be everything else you bring to the table? Because if you're only going to go because of my bank balance is a certain level, then that relationship is going to be done in no time. Because as Karen said, or someone said, once the money's gone, then what? There's nothing there. There's no substance to the relationship.
Can I ask another? Yeah, and you're right. That's a good point, Theo. Absolutely good point. And I'm going to ask this question to the men, because what was said is, men of his age, his caliber, there are men who in their 40s that date 20 odd year olds. And I want to know if that is something that is attractive to you as men of a certain age. Let's pretend that you're not married. Would you be looking, rather than looking for a more mature woman who might have a child, you might have children as well, because you're of a certain age, it's more likely that you have, right? So would you date or marry somebody, you're 55, marry a 29-year-old?
No. Well, we've got nothing in common. There's nothing in common. We've got nothing in common at all.
Not marry.
Don't even date them.
But she's above average. Poor thing.
I wouldn't want to pigeonhole any like anybody. If my thing is, if we connect, is great. But I'm also with Theo as well, and that's the good thing about dating, is that you get to see what's going on. Those are in the 20s that are Instagram and TikTok babies, those that are in the 30s, and even then it's a bit tricky. You know what I mean? But if they're mature, it's great. I've also, those that are in their 40s, I feel also have had problems with them as well. So there is no age to it as such, but at least, there's a common factor. But in the 20s, I'm a bit like, I don't know.
No, I wouldn't. What are we going to talk about? If I want to mention something about 20 years ago, they were babies.
Mm-hmm. So wasn't even born. There was a sparkle in the daddy eye.
What could we have? Someone said, if I had money, if he was a millionaire to start a family, I said no, because then, okay, I buy the lightest bag and all that. Then what are we going to sit down and talk about?
The bag.
The bag. I'm 47.
That's
nothing to talk about. I want to talk about TV program or something like that. Do you remember this? No. Do you remember that? No. Okay. Now we're in like, okay, where do we go? We're talking about TikTok. I don't know nothing about TikTok. I just see it. My grandkids and that watch TikTok. I don't know nothing about TikTok and all this stuff. So we're gonna sit down. I'm 47. I got kids that age are gonna be, and I can't go have kids the same age as my children. Come on, man. That's just. I'm old enough to be your dad. And
but it's an element of control. It's like they don't want the 20-year-olds to say anything to them, right? So just like take this handbag, shut up, and open certain bits that I don't really want to say. Yeah, and that's it. That's what the whole relationship is pretty much about.
Yeah, it's boring after a while.
I absolutely, if I had all the money in the world, I absolutely wouldn't go out with somebody who I'm old enough to
have given birth to.
It's 31. I'm not going any earlier than 31. That wouldn't make sense. That's almost.
Why?
No, why?
Mine is. If I could have lost my virginity before that person was born, if I could have lost my virginity before that person was born, then definitely no.
Exactly.
Not that I did. Not that I did, but if I could have, then it's a no.
Yeah.
I was going to ask. I was going to tell this out for the women, but they already answered it. They've already answered. You girls have already answered.
You know what, men? Well, let's talk about the world. Yeah, it's not. It said that men mature slower than women.
Exactly, even
But
worse.
that's why some of them could go with the 20-year-olds, because mentally, in a way, they're there.
Same age.
You know, same age
No,
mentally.
I wouldn't put it like that though.
Not you, Kels. Not you. Them.
You know what it is? I look at it like this. Those guys, when they were younger, they're not, as we're saying about looks and stuff. When you're in your 20s, your looks is important. You're going to go with someone that's buff, whatever it may be. But as they got older, because they've got money, they can now revert back to their 20s because they weren't able to do it in their 20s. Now they've got money. Now they can start playing. That's why they call it midlife crisis. Like, I didn't do it when I was in my 20s. I'm going to do it now.
Let me get a 1-year-old car and a 20-year-old man.
Tony Braxton the other day, she said she wished she had done everything she's doing now before, but because she was brought up in a Christian household, she didn't do it. So now she's going out with young boys and partying and wearing clothes, extravagant clothes. And everyone's looking at her going, what's wrong with you? You're 50 years old and she's having a midlife crisis. So she's doing what she should have done in her 20s and teens and stuff. So that's what when I see these old guys with young girls, that's what they're doing. They were the guys at school. They were the nerds. No one talked to them. They looked funny, big glasses, whatever it may be. Now they're multimillionaires. They're attractive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does money make you more attractive?
To some women.
To some women,
people.
Definitely. Definitely to some women.
Some people, yeah.
And to some
men. And some men as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Some men. It works both ways.
Sadly, but true. Yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna deny it. If a woman pulls up in a Lamborghini, I'm interested. I'm shallow. Call me shallow.
Well, I won't drive down your road.
Yeah, we can make sure we avoid. Sorry, we get around.
All right, guys, we're coming down to the end of the show. We did start late, and we're not going overtime. We've gone overtime by 5 minutes. But I do want to just say what were the takeaways from the show. I want to go through everybody and see what the takeaways were from the show, and then we are going to call it a night. And we'll be back here next week, Tuesday and midnight. So, Faye, what was your takeaways tonight?
I don't like him. That's it, bottom line. Me not like him at all.
All right, Kels, what's your takeaway?
Only in America.
Only in America. Okay, we've got Theo. What's your takeaway?
The standards, the average. Nobody's average. That's my takeaway. No one's average.
Okay. Karen, go through.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. Because I think his message could have gone across much better than it did. And our messages can go across. We need to think about people a bit more. And as Theo said, there's no such thing as average. It's subjective. So, that's what I take away from this.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tony.
So I'm going to say the opposite to Karen. It's not what you say. What did you say? It's not how you say. It's not how you
don't
say.
know the saying, Jesus.
It's not how you say.
Okay, Tony want to say, just say anyhow. If you're rude and you're arrogant, who cares? It don't change fact.
All right, Karen.
It's facts, isn't it, Tony?
It's facts. With the real Tony, please stand up.
Before I was so rudely interrupted. It's not how you say, it's what you say. I don't like Kevin Samuels. I don't actually have any reason to listen to his show, in all honesty, because he's not in my echelon. He's not my caliber of man. However, I will listen to a message and dissect it the way that a subject should be broached. You should just look at it and go, is that subject something that we can discuss? It's not about who said it, it's about the subject.
So your takeaway was what?
Takeaway is
He don't stay on subject.
average men can look at high earning.
So are you average then, Tony?
Women can look at high earning men. It don't make
If your eyes work, you can look at whoever you want.
You must have talked about yourself.
You see how this be a gentleman says?
It's not all of us. It's just me. It's not everybody. It's just me. Don't paint all of them with my screen. It's not all of them. Poor Bajan women. No, it's me.
Oh, Lord of mercy. Anyway, so basically, yeah, high earning men and average women. It can go on. It can go on. It's all about beauties in eyes of the beholder. Thank you, this DJ Super Me.
His jokes, DJ. His jokes.
The takeaways for tonight.
Oh, sorry, I cut out. Was that me? Was aiming at? Sorry, it cut out there. Well, yeah. I mean, I only knew about this Kevin Samuels today. Didn't hear about him until obviously you brought him to our attention. And he is a rude man. He needs God in his life. He needs blessings and he needs prayers. Because at the end of the day, his narrative, the message he's trying to get across to women, it's more tearing a woman down. It's not actually building a woman up. And if you're gonna tear a woman down, you're gonna have a woman who lacks confidence in herself, and she's gonna start to believe them rubbish there. So for when a man's averaging out a woman, to say that she's average, I'm not in no average category. I'm in no number category, right? As far as I'm concerned, I'm a Nubian queen, and so is everyone else on here as well. So as far as I'm concerned, Kevin Samuels can just, do what he needs to do, and may he live long in the land. Sarcasm.
And don't die alone with a 21-year-old.
And don't believe in nowhere on his own. Yeah.
And I hope he don't run out of money.
Well, the day he does that, as long as he knows he can't take his money with him when him go. So
that's why he spend it now for the 20-year-old.
Silly man.
Still spend it. Anyway, thank you all for being here this evening. And so we're coming to the end of the show. And as you heard from the panel members, their takeaways from the show, I would just like to add that it's quite, from the concept of the conversation, it appears that money is the gauge of whether somebody is average or not. And I think that's really sad. Really, really sad. I think we've got some beautiful people in the world. Yes, I understand the mindset. I get it. If you're earning this, do you want to be with somebody that's earning less? Well, why not? Somebody's got to earn less. Somebody's got to. Unless you're earning the same amount, which is very rare. Somebody's got to earn less. So who's it going to be? Are we going to love each other regardless? Is our love going to overcome all? Do we have to look at each other and say, well, you're earning £10,000 less than me, so that makes you less of a man or less of a woman? And that's how it came over to me. You're average, you're not going to be able to, you're going to die alone. Those kinds of, that's how it came across to me. And I think that what Karen said is very true. We do have to be mindful. And I'm not talking in terms of platforms like this per se, but generally as human beings, I think we are living in perilous times. We're living in a horrible world. We do have to look out for each other. We do have to be kind to each other. We do have to think about what we're saying to each other, because you don't want that person's mental health on your shoulder. You just don't. Be kind, be loving, be caring. And that's my take on this week's show. It may not be hard hitting, it may not be at the jugular, but I do think we really do need to look out for each other, men and women. Men need to be kinder to women and think about what they say, and women need to be kinder to men and think about what they say, and we need to build each other up. We're not going to get anywhere if we don't love each other. So that's my words on this one. We'll be back next week between the hours of 10 and midnight, Tuesday. It's coming up to Christmas. We've got a Christmas special coming up. Also, I want to let you know that we are, hopefully, if this pandemic don't stop, or we will be having what are we having, Faye? We're having a thing, aren't we, Faye?
What are we having? A secret Santa?
We've got the secret Santa going on for the week, but we've also got a retreat. We're planning a retreat for next week. Yeah.
Where you been, Kel?
Yeah, and that's to everybody. And if you do want to come, obviously there's going to be a cost, but you will actually get to meet the panel members live and direct. It will be a thing. Yeah, so we want you all to come onto that retreat. It's going to be great. And the place is going to be absolutely stunning. So from me, Yvonne Michelle, I will be back next week. We'll be back next week. And stay safe, look after. God bless. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Going through the years for you, girl. There's a natural mystic.
Look at that smile.
There you go. Mystic girl.
Health is above our smile.
Karen, this is not for you, Karen. This is for natural mystic. Yeah, girl. So you just quiet for a moment. Hey, Karen, you be quiet for a moment.
Just poke my eyes out, yeah? I should just pluck my eyes out.
You ready? You got me running, got me running. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it.